2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hey there guys, it's Nolan with Tacticon Armament. Today we're out here to zero our optics. What's the importance of it? Well, zeroing allows you to make accurate shots on target, right? When you slap a new optic on your rifle, almost guaranteed it's not going to be what's called zeroed. A zero is where your crosshair will line up at a specific point of distance, and that's where your bullet will hit. It doesn't have to be a crosshair, it could be a red dot, it could be a holographic sight, could be any multitude of things. Wherever your aiming point is, that's where the bullet hits at a specific distance. That's what your zero is, in layman's terms, in the simplest way I could break it down. So today, we're out here, and I'm gonna run you through kind of the steps of how to do that, and then we'll start pushing our optics out a little bit further. So let's talk about some of the things you're gonna need. First and foremost, you're going to need a firearm with an optic to zero. So today, I've got an AR-15 with our Falcon, Apex Falcon 1x6x24 first focal plane. I'll get into the optic in a little bit here. Let's continue moving forward. Okay, so we're gonna need that. We need ammunition and optional, a sandbag. A sandbag is just gonna help. It's gonna hold you steadier. You know, it's gonna make the whole process a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more repeatable. If you have a shooting stand, like a lead sled or something like that, even better. Now, the most important bit to this is if you're gonna be laying down like I am today, instead of out at a fancy schmancy range where you can sit at a table, that's where this baby comes in. Instead of laying on the gravel, we've got you covered. Our battle bag has a little lay down pad, if you will, so you don't have to get dirty or uncomfortable. So let's get everything set up and we'll talk about zeroing. 50-yard zero. Let's talk about this. Because, you know, my brain, it likes to go in increments of 10 normally. So why not a 100-meter zero or a 10-meter zero? Well, I'll explain. Out at 100 meters or 100 yards, if we have zero dead center, the way it works with most rifles is at 100 you'll be centered, and then everything else from there is going to start dropping. So let's say at 200 you might hit here, 300 you might hit here, and so on and so forth. But the 50-meter zero is kind of like a pseudo 200-meter zero. And what that means is at 50 meters, if I'm hitting right here, at 100 meters, I'll be hitting a little bit high, but at 200 meters, I'll be hitting in the same spot. As well, at about 10 to 15 meters or yards, they're almost interchangeable. Let's not get hung up on it right now. But at about 10 to 15 meters, if you're aiming directly at the A, you should hit a little bit high. So it's something to keep account for if you're running closer drills. This is the zero I like to work with. Maybe you might like it too. I'm going to show you the fundamentals, so let's get to it. So, now that we're back and we're all loaded up, we're ready to go, there's not a round in the chamber yet, here's how we do it. Let's talk about the optic for just 1 second. This is the Apex Falcon 1x6x24. It's a 24mm tube, 1x6 power. That means I can run it at a 1x magnification, similar to a red dot, or I can bring it all the way up to a 6x magnification, like a magnified optic, like a scope. What does first focal plane mean? Let's talk about that for 1 second. A first focal plane means that when you actually magnify the optic, you magnify into the reticle. So instead of the reticle staying the same size, it gets smaller when you take it down to a smaller magnification and larger when you bump up the magnification. This is useful in longer range scenarios or holding your zeros, right? So when you're actually zeroing in your optic, if you had a second focal plane, like the Falcon 2 1x4, the reticle is going to stay the same size. So you need to zero at max magnification, because that's where your holdovers, a holdover being where you might need to hold left, right, up, or down at further distances, is going to take place. Because, within 10 to 50 yards, you could shoot at 1 magnification with no problem. Getting past that to 100, 200, 300, 400, however far it may be, you would want the highest magnification. So on a first focal plane like this is, it doesn't matter. You can zero at 1, 6, 4, 2, 3.5, whatever floats your boat. I suggest doing 6 because it's going to be a little bit easier. You're going to be all the way magnified in, you can kind of see where you're hitting better. But on a second focal plane like the Falcon V2, do it at max magnification. That being said, let's take some shots and actually put some bullets on the target. What I like to do if I've just put my optic on my rifle, I like to pick something, as close to my target as I can and shoot that, preferably the dirt, so I can see how close my actual reticle is to where I'm supposed to be aiming. You don't have to do this. This is what I do to do a quick kind of bring it in target if it's way off zero. It should be good to go, but let's just do it. So now that I've got ear protection on, let's actually take some shots here. I don't have any eye pro on. I know I'm getting a clearer sight picture, as well as I'm shooting paper at 50 yards away with, the backdrop is another 50 yards away to the dirt. Okay? I'm being safe. Trust me. Now we're getting there. Almost there. There we go. Okay, so I took a shot at a close rock that was close to my target. I could see that it was hitting really high. It was hitting the background, and it was honestly, it was shooting about 10 feet high. So I had to adjust my optic. What we did is we raised the actual dial and we adjusted down to bring our optic into alignment with our shot placement. So I've worked it in, just, a rough estimate. My windage seems to be on. We'll find out how on it really is. But now I'm going to start aiming at the cardboard, take some shots, and we'll go assess and see where I hit. All right, I've taken 3 shots. Let's go down to the target, see where it's hit on the cardboard, and we'll assess from there. Side note out there for all you guys, bring some tape or a little marker. That'll help too. That way you can cover up your previous holes on the target. That way you know which ones are new and really where to move in your optic or where the user error might be. All right, guys, so I took those 3 shots and here's where I hit. A nice little grouping at 50 yards. Not too bad. I kind of just, went for it. So I can see that I'm off to the right-hand side and still a little high. What I have to do now is I have to bring my optic down and to the left. Let's go back. Now that I've seen this, I'm going to cover these up. I'm going to go adjust my optic and we'll take some more shots, see where we hit. It's really convenient that it's all in one little piece of tape too. Look at that. Thanks, tape. All right, guys, with these locking dials, don't forget you have to give it a little pull up. and then you can actually adjust where it goes. So our target, we were high and to the right. We need to bring it down and to the left. So I'm going to lift up, take it down a couple clicks, pop it into place, and here I'm going to do the same thing, pull it out, and move it a couple clicks over. Let's see how that works. Three more shots, 3 more hits. Let's go see where we were. 3 more shots on target after adjustments, and now we can see we're starting to bring it in and bring it down a little bit. Here's my shot string. Now, I need to bring it down just a little bit more and bring it into the left just a teensy bit more, and we should be spot on. Then I'm going to take some final shots, really get it dialed in, and then let's hit some steel. One more time, I need to bring it down and into the left. So I'm going to bring the locking lever up. I think 2 clicks is good, and then I need to take it to the left. I'm going to take it 4 clicks. Three more shots, 3 more hits. Rinse and repeat. Let's go. So, we've done it. This is the point we aim to get to, where I've moved in the reticle to hit in a precise position. Now, I was shooting a little bit faster than exact precise shooting, so we're gonna cover these up, take some really slow, precise shots, make sure we're dialed in, and then we're zeroed and good to go. Let's cover it up, do it one more time. One of the great things about zeroing in your optic is that you really get in your exercise walking back and forth. This is also why I prefer a 50-yard zero to a 100-yard zero. Food for thought. Quick side note here, friends. Ammunition matters. It matters what ammunition you're actually putting in your rifle. If you're getting different brands of ammo, like you've got some steel case, maybe some PMC, some Hornady, whatever. If you're mixing and matching your rounds, they're going to act differently out of the barrel. Whether it's how much powder is put in, the weight of the actual bullet, there's a lot of different factors that go into play. So, when you're zeroing your rifle, try and use the same ammunition so that way you get consistent results. Now, that's something you can be proud about. That's something you can take home to mama. It's all right. It's a good grouping. You know, the rifle is more accurate than I am. I'm not the best precision shooter, but, you know, that's enough for me to know my optic is zeroed in. Now that we're zeroed, I can correctly dope into different distances. I can use the adjustments on my scope, whether it's actually manually moving the dials or the built-in measurements in the actual scope itself. So now that we're zeroed in, let's have a little bit more fun. Let's launch them out to some steel, see if we get a couple pings. Let's do it. Let's send it! Ooh! Thank you for watching, dudes and dudettes. This has been how to zero in your optic from Tacticon Armament. I'm Nolan. I appreciate you for watching. Thanks for sticking all the way through. And for those of you who have, I love you. I mean it. Now, if you don't mind getting down in the comments and, you know, causing a little mayhem, don't actually cause mayhem, that was a joke. Just leave a comment, like, subscribe, do all those good things. It helps us help you. It's a mutual relationship here, give and take. Except I give it all, and you give me love and affection. And, you know, it's the reason I get up in the morning. Anyways, hopefully I covered everything you guys need to know about this. And as always, you stay classy, San Diego.